Good morning, welcome fellow YouTubers. So today we're gonna tear down this 327 large journal small block Chevrolet. Let's see what we find. First things first, let's see if there's any oil if be and drain the sump. Alright then. I already cracked it loose. Oh, that's not a good sign. Never a good sign when you find water in a sump. Let that drip and stew while we start on top. That's not too bad. I thought it's going to be more than that. Loosen this because this is in the way of my tappet cover. Actually, I can take these headers off. Never a good sign when you find stuff like that. Oh, we've got some surprises inside this one. As long as I've got a good rebuildable or repairable block, that ain't a biggie. Because the block and the crankshaft is the most important for me here. The rest we can replace brand new. Just do that. Yes, this engine stand has seen a couple of engines by the looks of the dirt on it. We start by removing intake bolts as well. Let me strip this, as the thermostat will probably have to be replaced as well, because the thermostat is there to regulate temperature, and we do believe around here to keep them in the engines, otherwise it's going to run hot, especially in our South African weather. Now, thermostat, that's also something required. I'm not going to take the carburetor off the intake now. I'm just going to take the intake and distributor out to get the cylinder heads off to see how the piston tops and everything inside this engine like. But actually it's more concerning the sleeves and the bores to see if they pitted or anything. So let's do this archaeological discoveries together. There's even metal inside this span. That's not good. We'll get to the bottom of it just now. Let me throw. Yes, I know if I took the carburetor off it would have been easier. But something tells me this carburetor has to be rebuilt completely. So I'll concentrate on that a little bit later. It's just for me now to get to the bottom of this engine, to the core, to see what we're dealing here with. Before I can even quote my friend, my lovely friend, Mr. Diff from Rat Rods for Africa. He's got a wonderful channel. Guys must pop into that channel and have a look. Before I can even try and quote him on this, I need to see what damages and what repairs are needed on this thing inside. What machining, what costs, and everything involved to rebuild this. This thing got a lot of moisture. Even the bolts are rusty. Okay, I got all the little bolts. Now it's just popping out this antiquated old distributor. Oh, shucks, the timing is out. Wow, the things I discover. Look at this gasket. Normally we just have a normal paper type gasket in there, so the pump doesn't ride on the distributor, or the distributor doesn't push in a pump rod and ride the pump to bits. Jeez. This thing had some miles on it, but the gear's not that bad. Normally we put a copper bronze phosphate gear on them when we change to upgrade the cam, but this case, this engine, not so much. This is a stock build, as I believe stock is actually the most reliable form of small block you can find. Get in and go every day, stock type. I mean, they were good from once they started in the 50s till they ended in the 2000s, the small blocks. We order all our parts from the States and get them shipped this way. It cost us a pretty penny, but we love these motors. It's some of the best things that we can find here. Reliable, tough little engines. I don't discriminate against brands. Even the Ford V8 from the States, also quite tough and reliable engines. So this is called a teardown. I'm just tearing into it. That's long overdue gone. That's a good sign when it's nice and clean on top like this. Let me strip the other side. Already I can see this wheel need to replace. Carb's gonna need a rebuild. At least I know also where is a carb for cheap. If we don't come right to this, this should be about a 750 CFM if I look at it like that. Normally they've got their number at the back here. If you check them up on Google, you see what size the carb is. But like I see, half of the choke housing and stuff is gone. It's gonna make a lacquer low rod engine. This just have to be rebuilt completely. But that's why we're doing it. Because when you rebuild it with all fresh and new parts, newly machined, they can't go wrong. That bolt is stripped. That's why it's so loose. Okay. We'll get the heads done, don't worry. And I've got spare heads, that's not an issue. Most of this engine I've got plenty parts on, galore. As I'm crazy about the little 327 myself. Fuel economy is a bit better than a 350. I don't say it's a better engine in total, but for me it's a bit tougher. Less side thrust because it's got a bit of a shorter stroke. And it's just in generally a daily driver. That's what it's all about. For us around here, fuel's expensive. You don't want to run permanently something like that. That's a 427 in there, 400 with a 4-inch stroke crank. You don't want to run 383s daily because the fuel are crazy. So The little 327s, 283s are go-getters because fuel economy and daily drivers sometimes are the best. A car you can drive daily, that's a rod you fall in love with. You'll never want to part. And we hate actually having to tow our cars and trailers going to shows and so on. When we do that, that's part of the cylinder head. Came out there now. It's inside there now. Okay, it's nothing. Still got some thread there. Somebody tried to store this engine nicely, even though it got water in it. Okay. Right. Let's pull this intake off. There we go. The cam got some play. We'll check how the lifters look and the cam look, the lobes, as the flat taps, the light showing it. Got a lot of water into the cylinders, and we're gonna have to redo the heads completely. But that is part of the quote. Alright, I'm just gonna pop off the heads. Not worry about the push rods now, I'll catch them. Maybe I should go and get my power bar quickly. Nah, it's not that tough. As long as the block is good, that's my only concern here. I remember back in the day we used to machine these blocks as well to accept roller cam followers, solid and hydraulic. And we used to put catches in your little sieves to catch that, and we used to open up these ports and block the oil to this camshaft to the top a bit. But also remember not to make a mistake there, as your mains run also off these gullies. You just want to divert some of the oil to your mains to build a river so you can keep oil on this thing and keep it together. These little 327s were stout. We used to race them on the drags locally here. And for stock engine, they were quite nippy. We used to rev these things 7.5, sometimes 8k. They used to stay together, especially the small journal, which this ain't. This is a large journal from about 72 onwards. I see it's got Canadian manufactured heads on that. Nothing against that. Just get these little bolts out. They're not supposed to be as tight as the center bolts. They get torqued differently. Then I can take out the last bolt on top and pull this head off so we can get to the pistons and bores. Man, these crusty old engines. Gotta love them. It's like an archaeological dig. We don't know what we're gonna discover. You don't know what's been dropped down the intake. It's always a guessing game when you buy a car like this. You don't know if the sleeves are good, or are they gonna clean up when boring them out. Only thing you know is you've got all the bolts and all the mechanical bits when you buy a car like this, which costs a fortune to get all the spares here. Hopefully this block still has its dowel pins in it. Don't want to pop off, loose the head and it pops off on my feet. That's going to be funny. I had that before. Some guys used to take the race motors and they were cheapskate, don't want to buy gaskets and so for the intakes. So they take the pins out, so they take the whole setup off Seen some of the guys do that. When they pop a head gasket or brake rings over revving them. I miss actually the days we used to race these things. But now with technology and all the newer vehicles out there, sadly to say, the old school guys, we just don't stand a chance. So we just ride them out. And money wise, to build a hot motor, it's ridiculous. Our first mystery. Our first mystery coming up. When we've got it upside down, we can see if we've got a 3/4 inch race cam in it. Meaning it's broken in 1/4 inches. Just joking. Had that before as well. Okay, it had it open. Oh, lovely. Lovely. This is our worst. Right there. I don't feel any pit marks through. This will clean up, most probably. Right, another thing, except that I know I'm going to probably replace cam checkers lifters. I took the push rods out and they're popping apart without me even touching them. Meaning the lifters are shot, most probably as well. Okay, yeah, they probably got water in as well, as it looks at the engine from the top. Don't know how long this engine stood. Okay, let me do my work. Alright, let's open says me. Let's see what damages we got here. Hopefully it's not as bad as that side. It's good. It's actually gooder. Gooder, better. Just joking. It's not as bad as that side. Got some grease. We have to clean these balls up to have a good look at them. But seems all right. This engine's been opened before. Yeah, they've got number 8 written on there. I know it's been opened before. Okay. You also get this broken sender out here. That's actually why I brought the shifter along, because it's already rounded, already busted up. I saw one side I can grab. Okay. Alright, let me take quickly this water pump. That seems also shot and bent off here quickly. I'm just going to take the whole unit off. And then we flip over the block and we take off the sump. We'll at least be able to see how the bearings and stuff look. Must probably get my pulley puller as well. Not too shabby, this block. I'm actually happy for a change. I'm happy. It's looking good. Got sunshine in her back. I'm just joking. But anyway, it's looking better than I thought. It's gonna look for engine that stood how many years outside. We'll probably get everything machined, replace the pistons, replace almost everything on it. It's just a crank and a block I think we're gonna use here. Not to be funny. Just shoot that side loose. I can't put a ratchet really in unless I take the fan off, which I don't feel like now. I want to get to the core, the center of this thing. The nasty, nasty core. Just take out these 3 Allen caps. Luckily the motor is seized up so I don't have to lock it. And then I can put my puller on it to pull this damper. Man, this engine's going to be so much shorter if he has to take all the extra pulleys off. Okay, that's on there now. I'll get it out just now. Okay. There we go. Being a 327 doesn't have a center bolt like we all know by now. Let me just thread this in. Special thread, fine thread these things. I'll put the others now. Man, I knocked this thing in by hand. Okay, I'll get to that now. Just thread them all the way in to secure my puller. Put them by hand first so you can get all the threads and not cross thread it. Which I think that one's been done before. That one seems like it's been cross threaded before. Not going too easy. Alright, now let me quickly pull this damper off so I can tear into the rest of this little 327, which carries the same block as the 350 Chevrolet small block, being a large journal 327. Ah, here we go. It's coming. Oh, damper is shot. Check out that groove it cut into it. Gonna have to get it remachined sleeved. Alright, so at least we know that. There we go. Let me tear into the rest of this. Turn it around, get the sump off. While this is up, just get this timing cover loose. We'll come off with the sump. Probably has standard chains on it. I'm not going to worry about the lifters falling out and going all over the show, as we're going to buy a new cam. New lifters as insurance. Crusty. I'll pick everything up later, clean it, put it in a bucket, the bolts and so on. Put it in a solvent to get all the rust and everything off. And reuse these bolts, because to buy bolt kits is expensive this side. I think the last time we bought bolts, paid something like $5,000 for the cylinder bolts in our money. know the lift is gonna fall out now. Do we really care about these old lifters? Nope. Take this oil out, put it in a container to dump later. Come on. There we go. Told you the lift is gonna fall out. Look at that rust falling out. Alright. Half-inch socket. Get my ratchet. That's looking so fresh by now. Right. Getting into the heart of it. Let's see what treasures we discover. Or failures. This is what it's all about. That's a bit tough. Okay, don't worry. Get a spanner in there now. Alright, let's see what treasures we do discover inside here. Except for the conveyor belt engine mountings that will need to be redone as well. Wow, it's nice and clean actually. I was expecting something totally different. Not a drop of rust. Wow. Crazy, but that's good. It's good, it's nice. Alright, let me take out a piston and rod. Gonna probably have to beat it out. We'll get to that now. I see a lot of sludge. So these oil gullies, everything will have to be flushed, but that's not too bad. I can knock this piston through here, yeah, don't feel a reach there with rust. Then we can see what size everything is. Then before I take it to engineering, I'll mark everything down. Probably hone the cylinders just to make sure. Just get my nails in here. I don't like tapping these rods between you and me. That was. That's a good crankshaft. I expected more rust and crud in it. 20 thou. 20 thou. Let's keep this bearing for that rod. Let's not mix anything up. Just okay. I forgot. It's got rust. So let me take something and just tap the piston head down. Alright. Not too shabby. Small ends are done for. Cap keep to keep, so we don't mix up our caps. They did mark it previously. These things feel like they haven't even been torqued properly yet. I wonder. I know the motor's been rebuilt, I can see it. I wonder. Everything needs to be cleaned up on this so we can inspect it. This crank's gonna have to be ground as you check all the ridge marks on it, and my nail can actually catch in it. So yeah, this crank is quite done for. That is a sign of faulty oil and no services. The oil filter hasn't been changed in a long time, so that causes that. Even this in between. Just push here. There we go. Still got some water coming off. Pistons don't look too shabby. It's just the small ends that's done for. So it's gonna be rebored to a preferable size, probably just the next size up, and new pistons will have to be installed on here. The bores doesn't look too bad, but yeah, the pistons are shot. If I mark these sleeves and I see they don't taper out, no, it's got a big ridge here. It's gonna have to be resized, rebored. Sorry for that. Take off this oil pump. It's a good thing to do also is cam bushes. When you change the cam also out on this, because most of your oil pressure depends on your cam bushes on these engines. They're quite stout. Oh, quick tip, I normally use just this to turn the engine over if I need to be. I don't have the socket anymore, which I used to have. That used to go over the snout with the keyway that you do buy. Okay. Let me tear down the rest of this little engine. Alright, now that I've got all the pistons out, look what I found. That piston is shot, that piston is shot. I'm not even going to attempt to even try and get the rings out of that. Let me take out the timing setup, which I figured would be standard. Like you can see, got enough play to actually mess up the block, which is luckily it hasn't yet, but yeah, this is quite done for. I'll use the sprocket as leverage to take the cam itself out later. We take this crankshaft out first. Come on. Now the Delpin is keeping it. Doing its job actually. There you go. Let me just slap that on there. So I've got leverage to take us out. This is getting new cam bushes anyway. But still, no point in destroying things, is there? I think my timing's a bit out. Let me see. All the lifters out. I'm gonna have to take the push rod out first. I'll get to that for the fuel pump, if it still has one. Let's quickly strip this. I normally like taking caps off from the center of the block about, as I figure most strain is on the middle part of the block actually. It's also why Chevy's got the middle part normally in 4-bolt mains on the other blocks, as I think the most stress are here. Torquing them up again as well, I normally run from center outwards. And this, gentlemen, ladies and gents, is pretty much a 327 teardown, how I see it. Later on, we'll get this engine cleaned up, everything cleaned up, and be off to the engineering, as it needs to be bored out to next size, and a crank needs to be cut down to next size because of poor maintenance. This poor thing never had its oil filter changed, looks like it. Look at that. Poor maintenance. Being a small block Chevy, would have probably still chucked on another 10,000 kilometers or so without any issues. Just loss of oil pressure maybe. Look at how bad that crank is. You can actually hear it, how bad that is. We normally say a small block Chevy laying on the ground, you just wave your keys at it and it will start up. Just a joke between us all. Very good engines. I love how this one's coming apart. No major hassles actually. Got a nice rebuildable core. And it seems like the pistons might be standard still. I'll clean them up later and have a look at that. All the bearings are shot on this thing. Yeah, the caps, I take them out and I put them in order as they have to go back in order on the block, and then I'll quickly clean and mark them. They've got an arrow and a direction. These ones are actually marked, like you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. And number 5 being your main rear with the seal and a thrust. Oh, lovely. Lovely, lovely surprises. I knew the motor's going to be bad all the years sitting with moisture, but I didn't think it would have been run like that. There we go. This crank has pretty much had it, like you can see here. Has to be cut to the next 2 sizes, almost seems like it. Top bearings don't really matter, as most of your weight is on your bottom bearings. Torque as well runs mostly on your bottom shells. That's why they look so lacquer. So lacquer bad, terrible. But yeah, let's not dwell on that. Take all this out. This is shot anyway. Right, we push all the lifters down. If they don't want to push down, I've got to take out the cam and knock them through, because then the lifters are rounded or mushroomed. And then also normally you have to inspect these blocks in the lifter valleys for cracks, which we all know. Oh, the scam is shot. There we go. Check how rounded that lobe is. It's completely wasted. Time for new camshaft. Man, it's crusty. But I wanted everybody to share in the experience of the crusty motor. Why do I strip it filthy, they ask me. Well, I know I was going to have to clean the inside as well. And I might as well strip the whole thing, tear it to bits, and then clean it. As you clean it twice, because now you clean outside and then you've got to clean inside. You know what I mean? So end of the story. We'll clean it a little later. Let me just get it through the bush. Man, why is it sticking on the bushes? Clearances aren't right. Ah, that's why it's got rust on the cam. This cam's pretty much had it. Well, it would have had oil pressure because the cam bushes aren't bad. But it's getting replaced anyhow. There we go. Let me get a cloth and just clean there. Nope, cam bushes are also wasted. Check around the oil hole. Cam is shot. There you go. That's a nice flat tappet lobe for you. Gone. Right. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Also, please like and subscribe so I can bring you more content on our rusty old rods and our rusty old cars on our hot rod channels. And this will be going to engineering now, as if. And first we'll clean it up. Thank you, everybody. Peace out.